Hey Triple T, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for joining me again on another video. So today I want to talk to you about growth, but I want to talk to you about silent growth. So stay tuned and we get right into it. All right, guys. So when we talk about growth, we talk about progressively gaining something, going through a process in order to achieve something. When we think about growth, we think about a child being born and being an infant to a toddler and growing into school age, then being a preteen, then a teenager, then pre-adulthood, and then being an adult. So we think about growth, and in each area of their life or each stage of their life, they're growing. But I want to specifically talk about silently growing, a growth that you can't really see, but then somewhere down the line, right, is just a manifestation. You see a manifestation of that growth. So for example, my daughter, right? So I was it was one morning I woke up and I was like, why is she just looks so big? She looked bigger than she went to bed yesterday. And I said to myself, that's when the thought came to me, silent growth, right? Because over the period of time, right, she was growing. She went to bed, she wakes up, she goes to school, or she does her activities, and she's just living normally. But she's also growing while she's living, right? But that's the kind of growth that we don't see. That's the kind of growth that is silent. We don't see it, but we know there's a growth, because it has to be a growth, because she has to get to the other age when her birthday comes, right? Or she has to develop, right, in whatever ways she needs to develop, whether physically, mentally, emotionally. So there is a growth going on, but we don't see it, and we only see it when there's a manifestation of it. That's when we see it, right? That's when we see it. So for example, let's use someone that has recently given their life to the Lord, right? So first of all, if you're a child of God and you're walking with Christ, you know that that's not an overnight process, right? That's it. That change is not an overnight process. So if you think about that person, right, that person is just, they give their life to the Lord and they're walking, right? It is not overnight. So there's a growth that happens within that person, right? And the person, it's somewhere down the line, right? Maybe a year or 2 or 3 years into giving their life to the Lord, you're supposed to see a manifestation of the growth, right? You're supposed to see a manifestation of the growth. Sometimes we don't see it, or sometimes it's not out there for us to see, but they're still growing. That doesn't mean they're not growing. You understand? So the growth is in silence, but you will see the manifestation of it when the time is right, right? Same like with when I think about this YouTube channel thing, right? Like sometimes we don't see, right, the manifestation of the work that we are putting in, but we're growing, right? There's some YT content makers go on silent streams, and while they're running silent streams, they're growing, right? Because you might not see that they're getting subscriptions from this, or they're getting watch hours from this, right? But you don't see that growth until those hours manifest, or their subscriber count goes up, or stuff like that. So you don't see that manifestation until then. So it's just to be encouraged that growth is inevitable. Growth is happening regardless of if we see it or not. Growth is happening. So just be hopeful, be joyful in knowing that even if you don't see what you want to see right now, there is still a process going on. There's still growth going on, and you are going to see it manifest somewhere or another, somewhere down the line. You are going to see it manifest. So I want to leave that tidbit with you today, right? Growing in silence. Sometimes you don't have to say anything. Sometimes you just grow. You're just here. You live your daily life, go about your business, but you're still growing. You're still growing. You're still growing, right? And sometimes we look at ourselves and we say, man, I have a great year or two, right? But you are growing, so you're gonna get a few gray hair or two. That's just the gray hair. The gray hair manifestation is just that you are growing, right? You're growing older in age. You're growing, right? So I want to leave this with you today. Remember, I love you. Jesus loves you even more. Blessings, blessings, and more blessings.